Alright, I've had a lot of questions about exactly how I built this prop. Right now you'll see it's in its storage configuration. So basically I've got a Velcro strap here, and okay, well I can't find it. The idea is to take the strap off, these all flip up, and then take the rubber bands off, these all flip down. That will fit on this post. And so really all that's just a 3/4 EMT coupler. I ground out the middle so that you could put it all the way in, and I just welded that to a piece of flat bar, cut those at an angle so that it matches the slope of my driveway. And this is just a cheap $1.60 concrete paver from Home Depot. And so the idea is the prop will fit on top of there. Okay, so how did I get from that and all the way up until the prop that you see? Well, it started with this. I purchased some steel discs off of eBay. In retrospect, I should have had these cut and had little grooves put in them or something. And so then the idea is, final product is this. So you can see here how there's this assembly. That's where all the pipes, the uppers and the lowers go into. And so what I had to do was first take two of these plates with the holes laser cut into them. I got these from Sen Cut Sen. And then two of the little spacer pieces. I used a machined fixture to hold it all together. There's screws when I was doing this. And so I would tack weld all these pieces together. I had other fixtures I used to align them into this shape onto one of the circles and weld it all together. So great. Then I would take another 3/4 EMT coupler, which I've ground out so that I can put the pipe in deeper. And I can even show you how that works. It's easier now. So the idea is, yeah. So there you go. That just gives you an idea of how that sits on that pipe. And I mean, I figured 3/4 EMT is cheap, readily available. I can cut this to size to raise or lower these so that they're at a consistent elevation across the yard, etc. Okay, so how do all the actual pipe pieces work? So that's where these come into play. It's basically 30-inch and 15-inch sections of 1/2-inch EMT, just cut. And then you'll see there's holes drilled into it. And the idea is these clips, there you go, they have screw holes. So you basically just use 1-inch screws, screw these all on. Same with this. And then essentially you push pixels in. And I'll show you what that looks like setup. All right, so here it is sitting on the stand. And of course, because these poles flip up, you know, design regret. Assembly is gonna have to start where you put it on a taller pipe. And then we can pin these out to the lock position, and it can go out onto a shorter pipe. It just makes it easier because these are all wanting to flip down. And yeah, I realize when I go to place it on here, it's like, ah, crap, that does not want to stand the right way. But all right, so I'll show you what it looks like all pinned together. All right, so I'll show you how these pins go in first, actually. So basically what you do, you get this into the extended position, and you put the fidgety little screw in here. Of course, because I'm trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time. So there you go. The pin is now in. You can see it's locked it in that horizontal position. I mean, ideally it would have been nice if I didn't have to have those pins. The top ones, basically they fold down and they bump up against this one so that they stay in the correct angle. So, you know, design regret. All right, and then here it is all fully extended. And a patio block's about 20 pounds. Actually seems decent. It's not going to tip. Any of the sort of movement that you're seeing there is just a result of the fact that those, I don't have the set screws in any of the EMT couplers yet, and I think when I torque down those brackets onto the brick, I'm gonna just squirt some construction adhesive in there just to like fill in the gaps, because I find that those Tapcon screws aren't going, you know, perfectly down, so like it has a little bit of flex in the whole assembly, and that's literally just the metal piece kind of rocking under the Tapcons. So I think it'll probably work. And yeah, so here's the whole shebang. Yeah, that was a mistake. I didn't count pixels right, and so this connector for power injection was supposed to be down there, but it's not, so the cord wasn't long enough, but I'll fix that. Yeah, and then I gotta go, and of course these pixels have power injection thingies I gotta go and heat shrink over. But yeah, so this is the final product. I'm gonna be 100% honest, this is a pretty large build. You know, the laser cut pieces of metal, if you want to break down the cost, I mean, the laser cut pieces of metal was a good $180 or something like that. The discs were about 30 bucks. You know, you've got a bunch of EMT couplings. There is, these pixel clips are, I think it was like 4 rolls of filament per prop. Bunch of wiring, so I don't know, maybe it's not the worst, but it's definitely not as bad as Frosty. Frosty was, you know, a little bit on the pricey side from what I was thinking. But yeah, I mean, you'll even notice here, I was like, yep, that's goes a little longer than the EMT, but I really wanted to stick to, you know, not having a lot of wastage, and that seemed reasonable.